Hey guys, my name's Justin and welcome to Hillsboro, where we care about the design behind designer luxury. And if you do too, make sure to subscribe. So for today's video, I wanted to talk about at least what I consider 5 iconic Chanel bags. So if you're familiar with my channel, you probably recognize that I rarely, if ever, talk about Chanel. The current creative director, Virginie Viard, though she was a protege of Karl Lagerfeld, her designs, I think, for me, don't match up to the imagination and the insane creativity. I mean, she is a very detail-oriented person, and some of the things she does make are quite beautiful, but alas, she is not my style, which is totally fine. I'm also probably not the key audience or the key demographic for Chanel, you know, 30-something random gay guy living in Sweden. Anyways, I wanted to talk about these 5 different bags because to me they're some of the bags that kind of had the most impact from Karl when he was still the creative director of Chanel. I won't be talking about Menadiers or any of those little small clutches. That could be a whole thing on its own because there's some incredible stuff there. I'm gonna be focusing more on bigger bags for the most part, leather-ish kind of stuff. But yeah, so let's get started. So the first bag I wanted to talk about came from the spring 2016 runway, where Chanel, I don't know, they basically turned the, oh god, what is it called? The Grand Palais? I was right. The Grand Palais in Paris. I know some things, sometimes. But they basically turned it into an airport terminal, and I know what you're thinking, you're like, okay, so Chanel, one of the most famous, fashion houses, the epitome of glamour, and you turn it into one of, the least glamorous places on earth, no matter which airport you go to. It's one of the least desirable places to go, you know? But for me, I think that's what made it so exciting. When you took a look at the runway, it was you're seated in an airport chair. They had the whole desk that had the people who could help you figure out which terminal to go to or whatever, or get you a new ticket or something like that. But then this bag, for me, I think is just so funny. And it's basically called the Chanel XXL Classic Flap, I think. And it's basically just a gigantic version of the classic flap. Of course, there's a few differences, it doesn't have the inner flap, it is just bigger, and then the backside doesn't have the fainting pocket, but it does have this square attached to the back so that you can hook it onto your luggage, and I think that's so hilarious. I, of course, sure, I would use it as a weekender, but I love the idea of just popping it onto your luggage and just wheeling it around the airport, or just carrying around on your shoulder this giant classic flat bag. The scale of it is so comical, and originally when I first saw it on the runway, it was made in this red, white, and blue diagonal check pattern, kind of like a plaid. But then since then I've seen it in gold metallic leather, black, silver. I love the silver. Just the idea of a supersize, it's supersize me, you know? It's this just giant this big bag. It is, but it's what it is. It's just a giant, classic flap bag, and to me that's hilarious. So this next bag I want to talk about is called the Millenium 2005. Strange name, stranger bag. Basically, it follows and doesn't follow any of the Chanel house codes. So, from what I could find, it definitely came from fall-winter 1999, and the name is an homage to Chanel No. 5 and then the approach of the new millennium, Y2K. But the thing that's crazy about this bag, it is not quilted. It is this smooth calfskin leather on it seems like it's on molded plastic or something like that. And instead of the eponymous interwoven leather and chain strap or handle, it is just this, it almost looks like a watch band that you kind of just attach onto the bag. I love this bag because, I mean, first of all, it's insane. It is an insane bag. It is based on a bust turned upside down, but then it kind of looks like a butt when it's held normal, so another nickname for it is called the butt bag, which I think is hilarious. But then you open it up and you see all these corset details. I don't know, it's insane to me, and it doesn't look like a Chanel bag, but then if you take a look at all of the bits and pieces, Like, it does make sense. I don't know what Karl was on when he made this one, but it is incredible. Of course, like, it's not the most desirable because it doesn't have the typical, like, recognizable aspects of a Chanel bag, besides, like, the sides having, like, a CC logo on it. I think the reason why I want it is because, like, I mean, it's a little ugly, but I like ugly things. So for me, it's like, you know, this, like, really, like, hideous, like, bag that looks like a butt with like a crossbody chain that looks like a watch strap. Like, it doesn't look like Chanel, but it is Chanel. And to me, it actually is one of their most like iconic bags. End of list. Just kidding. No, there's more. The defense is wrong! I just watched Fire Island. And then, because I saw the quote from there, and I just had a rewatch of My Cousin Vinny, which is great. Marissa Tomei. You're not gonna include that, are you? So the next bag, I feel like I've talked about so many times on this channel because A, I own it, B, I haven't used it even though I bought it over a year ago, and C, I still haven't used it despite making a video about how I haven't used it, which I'll link it up in the corner, first impression video. But it is the Chanel Hula Hoop bag. To me, this is one of the most iconic Chanel bag shapes that came out. Of course, the one that I think is the most iconic is the like super huge one that never went into like full production. That one was seen on the Wind Power runway. I think that was like spring 2015. Oh god, it's even older, spring 2013. What does 2 years have to do with anything? You know, the past 2 years it didn't really exist anyways for us, so whatever. So, of course, that model never really went into production. They made, I think, just maybe like 20 plus, maybe 40 or something like that, and then that was it. They're going for insane prices now. I've seen them for upwards of 20,000. Obviously, that is a bucket list bag for me to own, but like, I'm not writing that off anytime soon. But I do have this. So what I love about the hula hoop is that, of course, it has the same, like some of the same aspects of the flap, the classic flap. Like, it still has the CC, and then it still has this like shaped little flap, and on the back it does have a fainting pocket, but then instead of, you know, just a regular rectangular bag, it's turned into a circle, and then the handles wrap around it and then cross over, and then it's just one continuous hula hoop kind of shape. The extra large one, the huge one, you're meant to like actually take it to the beach and like hang your towel off of. And I think that's hilarious. I love that sense of humor, and I love that kind of irreverence when it comes to like the products that you create, you know, like nothing is ever sacred. So this next bag is a little, let's say controversial. This bag was part of the Chanel Resort 2015 collection. So that's the one that happened in Dubai. They actually made a whole like building with like CC bricks. It was very beautiful. They used the style of architecture that is very prevalent in that region. So like, as all of these beautiful like outfits, these gowns and all of these other accessories were coming out, one of the bags that came out was in the shape of a gas can, which many have interpreted as a little bit of a commentary on how that region maybe made a lot of its money, which I just know what I heard and I know what I read. I'm not saying it's the truth or not, because I'm just not smart. But I do know about this. The bag shape is, sure, it's like shaped like a gas can, which also like, I think is hilarious. The fact that you're turning this like common item that you can get from like a gas station or something into like this giant luxury handbag, I think is actually hilarious. But then of course, like, what would something so influential from Karl Lagerfeld be without a little bit of controversy? Whenever I see all these like iconic bags, like, I'm always like, oh, I want it. Let me own it. I want a piece of fashion history. But then for this one, I'm like, maybe not. Which is like, fine. I don't need to own everything. And also I don't want to own everything. Other people can own these things. And then, you know, maybe they'll get canceled or whatever. I don't know. This last bag I want to talk about is actually one that I think is on my bucket list. I'm pretty sure I had a video about bucket list bags. I'll link it in the corner. This bag came from the fall 2014 runway, where the Grand Palais was basically turned into a supermarket. So again, we're seeing kind of like a bit of common themes throughout Some of the ones that I'm talking about, like that first one I mentioned, you're in an airport terminal, like gag, that's gross. Although, you know, you get to travel, so whatever. But then a supermarket where you're taking this kind of like almost like mundane act and turning it into something extraordinary and unexpected. I mean, imagine this. You're seeing this like beautiful supermarket, but it's insane. They turn the whole thing into a supermarket, and then all of a sudden you see these models walking out with these bags that are shaped like grocery baskets, but then instead of being made out of plastic, they're made out of like shaped chain and interwoven leather. That kind of house code of the interwoven leather and chain is turned into a grocery basket. And I think the hilarious thing is that they're not picking up, you know, sodas or toilet paper. They're carrying more Chanel bags in it, more classic flaps. And I think that's hilarious. And to me, that is the only way you should wear it, right? You have your grocery basket and then you have your classic flap sitting inside of it. And then that's it. I don't know. To me, that's incredible and stupid, and it makes me really sad that the prices for them are astronomical. But who knows, one day maybe I'll like strike it rich and I'll be able to get one. Like I said, it's not all about owning all the parts of fashion history that we want. It's about being able to appreciate them. Okay, that's all I have. I'm just kidding. But yeah, that is all I have for you. Let me know, do you know about these bags? Are these bags kind of like, at this point, like, everyone knows about these, Justin, shut the heck up. Do you have any other Chanel bags that you would say are more iconic, or anything that you think I missed? Let me know, I love hearing from you guys. But yeah, that's all I have for you today. If you like this video, please make sure to like and subscribe. It lets me know that you like this kind of content and that you too care about the design behind designer luxury. Until next time, the defense is wrong. The defense is wrong. The defense is wrong.